Hello, everybody, and welcome to Around the League episode 10. We've made it that far. Can you believe it? With me today, I have a special guest. You've seen him on so many of the shows, maybe all of them at one time. He'll comment on the post game. This is Robert, of course, from the HITI Network. Again, you've seen him from pretty much everything. He'll come in and chat about whatever. How are you this Thursday as we record for Friday?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to be here with you. It was good seeing you this past week, so pretty happy about that, man.
Yeah. First, before we get to that, we'll get to the social media parts. So please, if you haven't subscribed, follow us on the HITI Network or Halos in the Infield on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, uh, X, normally known as Twitter. There's that what's the page that Silent E does, excuse me, for our blogs. I'm trying to remember that one. Oh,
I can't think of it right now.
Substack, I think it was.
Yes.
I'm bound to put a blog out there just to say how the team is doing, of course. But yeah, all the social media platforms, check us out on the HITI Network. Yeah, was great seeing you and your family, Robert, on I can't believe it was Monday
Yeah.
at Petco Park when the Angels played the first game of a 3-game series against San Diego, the Padres. It is always a delight going there. I try to make like 5 or 6 games a year, and it's really a thrill whenever I go to Petco Park, just because now it's a thing. It's a hip thing to do.
Oh, for sure.
Last decade in 08 to 09, it wasn't. I mean, it
Like
was in.
Angel Stadium today.
Yeah, it's basically like the Angels and the Padres switched popularity and success.
Hmm.
And the way that they market players there with Tatis Jr., Cronenworth, Machado, Merrill, the rookie, all the stars that the Padres have. It's just like, hey, you wish you had that with the Angels here. But man,
Yeah.
tell me about your experience being at Petco Park. Outside of it, too, in the gas lamp, possibly as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like San Diego. I love San Diego, actually. I mean, it's a great place to be. It's nice. It's fun. Granted, yeah, it's like every city, right? You have your parts down there, but I went down to Gaslamp before, and my favorite restaurant down there is Barley Mash. So it has been for years. So I love going there every time I get a chance, man. I'm sure you've been there, right? You've checked it out.
Oh, oh, totally. And you know what got me confused? For some reason, I thought it was barley and marl or something like that, but it was barley and mash. I think me and my friend went there one time for a birthday party or something like that. Um, but yeah, I try to go, like I said, to like 5 or 6 games. You find a spot somewhere. Sometimes they have a happy hour. They have all the bars and all the restaurants you could think of, like family friendly as well. But
Oh yeah.
going inside Petco Park, the atmosphere, you just had to think, man, if the Angels had this, it'd be awesome. But of course, someone's holding them back from that.
Big time. I mean, it was a great place to be. I mean, luckily for us, when we walked to the park, we caught you and Todd in there, and you kind of gave us the rundown and the whole little tour, which was great because if not, I never would have known that before. So we kind of had a little advantage with you down there with us, and it was big. I mean, everyone was so excited to be there. People were roaming around center field, the left field where you took us out there. And I know you guys went to the playground. I couldn't go because my kid would want to stay there the whole time and not watch the game. So we didn't veer off that far, but it was just amazing. Everything you're telling us, how they move buildings around, they totally accommodate the fans first and made it beautiful.
It was funny you said we went to the playground. We actually had like an Angel like X meetup kind of with it seemed like 8 people. I think was there. I think the X account the Angel Suck, I believe
Oh
was
yeah.
his name, was there. And it was just funny because it was like, damn, I swore I've seen the playground before and the little play area for the wiffle ball and all that for the kids. It's like, man, I wish Angels stadium had something like that, like statues for player night, literally for the two organizations. So again, it was great seeing you, and then it's always a great time there. That's for sure. I'll tell you what, Rob. Next time I'm buy Padre tickets, you know where I'm going.
What was that? Yeah, part of the
Seven
math.
714 tickets.
Oh,
714
7-1.
tickets.
Absolutely. That's where I
Yeah.
got my tickets at, man, down there. I got the discount, man, helps out big time. Able to upgrade those seats right away.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, if you put in the code HITI for 10% off and then 5% off going forward on other purchases. I mean, that's big going forward. That's just big savings. You just have to create an account for that. For concerts, theater tickets, sports tickets, it's all there. Now, I think you went to, was it Stagecoach earlier this year or last month or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then also too, you used it there, and I got money back too at the same time. It's not cash in hand, but then I have an account in there too. So I had $75 when I went to go to the Padres game, right? And so
Wow.
I used $75. I used a 10% off, and it was just almost it was like going for free to the Padres game. It was pretty amazing. It took a lot of heat off of us, which helped us out to go out to eat a little bit more, go and do some things around San Diego beforehand. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's always a good deal. I gotta check on mine because there's giveaways that Angels are having, and you're not really there anymore for the baseball. You're there for people and giveaways, I guess,
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
Yikes. But yeah, I'll be definitely looking for 714 tickets for all of that. Now, to get to some news and notes around the league. Let's see how many times I say that during the show. On the weekend, or it was last weekend? No, it was last weekend. No, it was this weekend. The Padres blew out the Rockies. I think one time it was 21-0 on Saturday,
Hmm.
and then the Rockies came back and won Sunday. But then the Rockies fired Bud Black, and that was even a month before they fired their hitting coach.
Yeah.
His nickname was Bam Bam, and I think more of it is on their what do you call it? On their owner, Dick Morfret, not spending on anybody after really hitting and missing on Chris Bryant. And they kept
Yes.
payroll down. It's only 122 million. They're 7-34 now, I want to say. We'll go through the standings later, but man, this whole Rocky situation is just awful. We know Bud Black, of course, being the pitching coach with the Angels back in the day, and then being the Padre manager for a good
Hmm.
amount of years, and then found the job with Colorado. And you just felt bad for him because they gave him nothing to work with. It's just
Yeah.
all these AAA guys and young players, and then see what happens. They're not getting free agents anytime soon, pitchers especially. My question to you, though, usually what's the clubhouse reaction when the manager gets fired? Are players, sad about it? Are they happy about it? Because we saw, I think it was Paul Skeens mentioned when Derek Shelton got fired, that he said, oh, somebody had to be, almost like he said, almost someone had to be the fall guy or somebody had to
Yeah.
be blamed. He
Yeah.
literally just threw him under the bus. So
Yeah.
are clubhouses, or is it usually somber after? Is it a party after? Or is everybody just neutral when the manager gets fired? What's the clubhouse you think like?
I'm gonna say neutral, man. It all depends on that manager itself and how he relates to certain guys and how he manages overall. Some guys may like him, some guys may not like him, but it's part of baseball, right? So then you have the professional aspect of it all too. It's not on the coach to go out there and win every single game. I mean, with 7 wins, there's something wrong with you as a ball player too. It's something that you're not doing right. He can't be out there and playing for you the whole time. I mean, he can put you in situations, do things here and there, but at the same time, if your hands are tied behind your back, what can you do?
Yeah, and that's why I felt bad for him, and uh, kind of for Derek Shelton too, because it felt like he had the Pirates on the right track, but then expectations got higher since Skeens became a Rookie of the Year. Shouldn't have been, but yeah, I'm interested to see how the Rockies finish. They're slated, I think, on pace. It was for, I kid you not, I think it said 26 wins on pace.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
no,
awful.
that's not going to happen, but just thinking that that could be the case is just wild. Just how we just had the White Sox last year lose. They went what 40 and 120, and just that someone would be worse. It's just crazy to think in all this analytical time. With the new sabermetrics and everything that you know something's going to bounce your way or something will work. We'll talk about that later too.
Yeah.
Also on Tuesday, and this was a shocker. I thought it was somebody joking around with me. Pete Rose was taken off the banned list along with Shoeless Joe Jackson and all the 1919 Chicago White Sox players who were involved in fixing the World Series back then. I want to get your thoughts because for me, though, should he be voted in, or did he, have a lot of scars toward people? Did he rub along people the wrong way? He did. I'm hearing, God, I'm hearing on both sides. The older reporters and older players, some have sympathy for him since he passed away, but still
Mhm.
some think like, oh, he was always an a-hole to me. Uh, he got booed for playing hard, which, Charlie Hustle, the name and all that, is just, it's a weird conversation. It's an odd conversation because if you allow him and the other, you know, betters in, then you have to let the steroid players in. So it's just
Yeah.
all over the place. I don't know what to think. I want him in just because I wish he was alive, first of all, but
Mhm.
they waited for this. They
Yeah.
waited for him to die to
They
make
would
this
never get any
happen. There's no
satisfaction.
doubt about it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's what I guess was owed to him from other players or other media members from back then who dealt with him. The fact I think that it took him 15 years to finally admit that he did, but it had to be in a book for it to sell. He had to admit it finally, and he kept going back and forth on it. But what do you think will happen? Will he be voted in right away, or people will still say no? Will a new generation of voters finally put him in, or will they listen to the old generation and keep him out?
I say he's in, man. Let's be honest. You see Pete Rose, he was a gamer, like you said, right? He was cocky, but he can do it. He can walk the walk, right? At the same time, rub people the wrong way. And there's plenty of times where he took head on the MLB and spoke out against it, which was probably the wrong approach at the time because all you're really doing is you keep jabbing at something that's not going your way. Keep poking the bear here and there, and they're going to make sure or ensure that you're not going to make the hall as long as you're alive. But he knew that too at the very end. He said it, hey, when I die, I'll most likely be in the Hall of Fame. But if you're not a gamer or you're not that good as he was, the best hitter of all time ever, without having a little cockiness to you, right? There's always a little bit of swagger, and he had that. Yeah, like you said, it rubbed people the wrong way. Probably would have suited him better to just be quiet and not do it, but that wasn't Pete Rose. Pete
Mm-mm.
Rose is always a guy going against the grain, a guy who's running through you at home plate during an all-star game to win because he was that much of a gamer at the same time, right? An exhibition game itself. But for him, he just never knew how to take a step back, but he never had to deal with adversity. Look at his career overall. I remember there was one time his son called him when he was in minor leagues, right? And one of the best stories ever. He says, "Dad, I'm in a slump. What did you do?" And his response goes, "Huh, that never happened to me. I don't know." So
I
that's the
never
type
knew
of
that.
guy that he was overall. So Pete Rose, I mean, you knew what you were getting when you saw Pete Rose, right? When you had him on your team. I do believe he gets voted in right away. I do believe it was a scam overall for not to have him in it. Yeah, I get he betted as a manager, not as a player, for his team to win, not to lose. Guys, trust me, I get it. I understand the MLB players' policy and everything that you can't do that. So therefore, he's out. But at the same time, I'm going to go on a little conspiracy theories here, James. I'm going to say they let him in because Otani's guilty. We all know Otani's guilty. No one's
Oh,
stupid. They're pre-setting the stage for to release Shohei Otani and other players who are going to come out betting, gambling legally, cheating to win the World Series. Right? These guys were going to be blacklisted from baseball Hall of Fame itself too. Now, well, you let Pete Rose in. You let Shoeless Joe in, they bet, why can't you let these guys in? And that's my hot take on this one here is I think that there's going to be enough evidence, and don't tell me, oh, the FBI investigated. The FBI investigated a lot of things the past 5 years that were BS. I don't know if everyone follows. I'm not trying to get political on it, but they're just BS stuff. I don't care what anyone says. An investigation does not take 2 months and it's done. Something like that's going to take years after year after year to get to the truth. They took it to Pete Rose year after year after year until they finally found him guilty, banned him from the Hall, and then all of a sudden he dies. He's back in it. But that's my take on it. That's the only reason why I think that they're releasing Shoeless Joe and those guys for throwing it is because we're going to find out there's going to be someone bigger than Pete Rose in the modern era, and I think that's going to be Otani or someone along those lines. And that you can't keep those guys out of the Hall because they're going to be Hall of Famers one day, right? Even if Otani's career ended today, people you can have the argument, oh, it's too soon. No, he deserves to have a Hall, have a place in the Hall. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm wondering. That blew my mind. Yeah, like, are you gonna have a hall of cheaters and just put all the HGH and steroid guys in after this? Be interesting to see the future of it. Now, what's crazy is I have to mention another sponsor, and I can go two ways with this. We just talked about Pete Rose. Do I want to talk Underdog Fantasy, or do I want to talk where you can get signed memorabilia of Pete Rose possibly at the LC Dugout? This
We
is kind of
let's gamble this one and throw out the gamble and let's see how it hits.
well. Oh God, I don't have the video with me, but Todd always talks about Underdog Fantasy, and there's a deal when you put a code in. He'll mention it on the post-game show. Let's just say that for now, but bet responsibly. That
Or
was
have your
fitting.
translator do it.
That was fitting. That was fitting. That's right after, and that's an interesting take on that, though, because
It is. I mean, it's gonna come out one day. I don't care what anyone says. It's BS, man.
it just seemed like we forgot all of, like, MLB told everyone, forget all about it. The season's about to start.
They pushed it swept that under the rug pretty quick, but yet kept Pete Rose under the rug until he died, and then you knew he'd give him a year to rest, right? The guy's passed away, man. Let him rest in peace. Give him a year, right? Right away. Boom. Okay, let's go ahead. He can be in the Hall now. What? Come on. What a shame.
That's amazing. I was gonna mention this about Tarek Skubal. I had him on. I mentioned on X. He's one of the most entertaining pitchers in the game right now. You saw him give up a home run to Neto. I think it was the first pitch in Anaheim against him, and then they had a little stare down. I think after Neto struck out. But he finally threw his first walk on Wednesday since April 20th. I just thought it was impressive that he went that long without a walk. I mean, we know about it as, watching the Angels and their pitchers walk people, and we saw that on Monday with Suarez, the closer, walking 4 consecutive Angels.
That was a merry-go-round, man, because that bases kept going like this the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, that never happens with our team, but you imagine somebody, throws 4 walks in a row, but you have a starting pitcher go almost 2 months without walking someone. I just thought that was amazing to come out with. But I'll mention this because these are questions I asked Todd before, and I wanted to get a former player's perspective on it. But how to fix the MLB All-Star Game. We saw that NHL canceled their All-Star Game in favor of having the Four Nations tournament again, which was a huge success for not only, American hockey, but international hockey. I brought up maybe they should have the MLB, for that weekend, instead of having the All-Star Game, you have, USA versus the world like the NBA wants to do, or you have the WBC finals that weekend. Every 3 years they play the WBC, I believe.
Yeah.
Why don't you have the finals during that time, or you have the All-Star Game, but you move it to the weekend? You have the Home Run Derby, Saturday, you have the game on Sunday, you have the rookie game Friday or the celebrity game Friday as well. But how would you fix the MLB All-Star game and the festivities probably?
I mean, the All-Star game itself, that's tough, man. The NHL changing overall, I think it's a mistake. I mean, I get it, it held up, but I thought that 3-on-3 hockey was pretty cool compared to the Expedition one hockey they had before. But baseball's tough to really change too much, man. It's not like you can go out there and play 3 innings and then call it a game, right? And have the West, AL West versus NL West, or all that stuff. But because the talent's going to be crazy too. You're going to have more All-Stars here because it's a popularity contest. Honestly, I think you go back to it being the World Series winner or the All-Star game winner is home field advantage for World Series because that gave it a little bit of flair for it. That was the best way to do it, but without totally revamping it or doing something like over the line or something like that, you can't do that. It's just not fun. It's not entertaining. But to add value back to the game, that's what I would say is put those guys in and then or actually put a limit on it. Hey, every guy only gets 2 at-bats max, and then you have to sub them out and let's see what the next guy has. Other than that, it's tough, man. Baseball's a very tough thing to alter here and there. You can shorten up the game a little bit, maybe, or start the runner on second base. Some people don't like that. Some people do. Or I don't know, just it's too hard. The only thing I can think of is something like that. Stipulations, or you got to bunt 1 time per inning, something like that. Or you got to force them to play ball, right? But at the same time, the players, the risk goes they get hurt and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You just leave it as is, I think, right now, and then whoever wins the All-Star game, home field advantage is more on the line for those guys, and you're going to see them play a little bit more all out to win this game, especially if you're the Dodgers, right? Today,
Yeah.
and you won the World Series last year. It's your manager. There's good chance you're going to be back in it this year again, so it means a lot more to you.
Yeah, I was trying to think of, all the things like you mentioned and some other things, but they already changed how regular season baseball is with, the pitch clock. Everybody has a clock on them now. The batters even, you know, you're going to eventually have the ASB system that they tried out in spring come into regular season play. But for entertainment value, anything exhibition, you can't really make real. That's why you don't have the NFL Pro Bowl anymore. You have the games or whatever they are,
Yeah,
where they're playing flag football.
yeah, that's essentially what it was at the end, right? They're just touching each other, falling down, and I mean, NFL's hard because you one bad hit, man, can ruin a career, right? And but baseball, I get it, yeah, one throw can ruin your career too. But I mean, that's part of the game that can happen anywhere. You can be playing catch, but there's not much baseball can do. It just kind of, it is what it is. I would say you put more star-studded guys in it, but and stop making a popularity contest. Put the guys statistically who deserve to be there.
Let me ask you this too before we move on to another topic. Should every team be represented in the All-Star game for
I
a player?
I think make it more interesting. Every team should have 2 players.
Ooh.
That way, there's more a little bit more parity. Why should the Dodgers, because they have the bigger fan base, or the Yankees, or the Mets, right, where the population is per capita overall? Why do they get more? Some guys deserve it, some guys don't at the time statistically. Because right now, if who you say the best shortstop is right now in the league, I think it's Bobby Witt Jr. Right? His numbers say it
Yeah,
itself. But if you go around, people, I guarantee you, he's such a small market that he's not going to get those votes.
that'd be interesting. Um, because if it wasn't for Aaron Judge, he'd be winning MVPs in the American League.
Hmm.
It's just unfortunate Judge is out here hitting over 400, 12 home
Yeah,
runs, I think it is, or 14 home runs, 40 RBI already. Um, the team is doing pretty well in KC as well, but the notoriety just isn't there, unfortunately. But that's interesting. 2 representatives. Who would you
yeah,
have on
because
the Angels? Anderson and Neto?
in the water cooler. No, oh yeah, it would be for me. It'd have to be Neto for sure, right there, and then probably Tyler Anderson. It's a good 1-2 punch there.
Man, it's almost like you would have like NBA Jam, but for the All Star game. That's
Hmm.
interesting. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Uh, if you love All Stars, you'll love the LC Dugout because they have the memorabilia there. Yeah, player signings. Zach Neto who I just mentioned, signed there, I believe, a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
It was
last weekend.
awesome. Yeah, they did a
Oh
great job.
yeah, that's right. He had a picture with your son, I believe, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's my son's favorite player, or it was Mickey Moniak, and he loves Zach Neto and Ohapi, but Neto, every time he sees him on TV, right, sees him right away. No name needed. He doesn't need it. He just sees the space. Zach Neto. And hey, Neto was great, man. The OC Dugout did an absolutely great job that whole event there that day. We got a photo with them. We got the autographs, and they helped out. And they had things there for you too, James. If you forgot something, they were fully prepared for you, and they weren't price gouging you. It was great.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I'd ever want, like a Magic Johnson thing, a Walter Payton thing, but I can't think of any. Like, imagine a Pete Rose, signed whatever right now.
Hmm.
Uh, that'd be awesome. We saw the crowd, I think, yesterday, in going into Great American Ballpark because they had a Pete Rose night fitting, and it was against the White Sox fitting. Whoa,
Stars
who had
aligned.
that?
The
Yeah,
stars aligned.
that's just crazy to me. But I'm trying to think who I'd have a memorabilia for, or who I want a signing for, but it'd always be for somebody else. I don't have many favorites, so but it's awesome that your son has a favorite, and Neto seems to be every young man's favorite growing up here with the
Hmm.
Angels. I wish they would win for all the youngsters. But yeah, go to OC Dugout for that. Definitely. Okay, we talked about MLB trying to spice up the All Star game. Now, how about spicing up the early part of the season, like the NBA does? Should MLB have an in season tournament for teams like the Angels, the Rockies, the Marlins, the Pirates, whomever, all the last place teams? It would give them a chance to go for something. And maybe it will attract fans, maybe it won't. But
Hmm.
do you think like this is a soccer style, I think, type of tournament? You still play your regular season games, but somehow it would go toward the in season record. Would you want to see anything like that? Or Todd was is a baseball person, doesn't want to see anything screw up the regular season schedule.
Yeah, I'm the same. You can't do something like that. I mean, it's already a joke that the Angels had to play the first, what, there are 12 games or 15 games on the road out of the first 18. I mean, you do something like that, you mess with these guys a little bit. I mean, they're still professional athletes at the same time. Yeah, basketball does it, but it's a shorter season overall. Baseball's a long one. I mean, you take spring training to account too. They're playing what, almost 200 games before, and there's 365 days a year. And these guys are grinding it day in and day out. It's a lot, man. So I'd say no, keep baseball as it is. If you want, and you take the head to head when they play each other, since everyone does play each other this year. And if let's say you're the bottom tier, bottom three teams, I think you can go ahead and do a matchup tournament there, but keep the schedule the exact same and said, hey, Rockies, Angels, Pirates, you're the worst teams right there. Whoever had the better record overall versus everybody else, you get first pick. You kind of spice it up that way, so you can't just fully tank the season because hey, the Rockies are a little too late anyways, because they're tanking the season when you're not guaranteed the first pick anymore. The odds go up, yes, but other than that, I wouldn't do any type of in-season tournament. It's too hard because you don't know. You have a good team. Sometimes they tank some years, right? It happens. You just have one bad year, down year to rebuild. Some couple guys get hurt, so you'd really have a big mismatch overall, in my opinion.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Uh, man, I'm trying to think of ways to make baseball appeal. Now, what I hated is that we have all these clocks, but they appeal to the casual baseball fan,
Hmm.
not us. So that's the unfortunate part. The game is going by faster. That's what I
It
do
is.
like. Um, Another question.
Before you go
Yeah, go
on,
ahead.
the next one. Um, you want to make baseball appealing? Put a salary cap.
Yeah,
Stop these mega teams from happening. You'll see more parity among the league, around the league. Unless these guys are okay, instead of playing for 25, $30 million, playing for five, they all want to be on one super team together, go on ahead. But until that happens, put a salary cap on it. Deferred contracts count towards the cap as well too that year. I don't care. It's per year valuation. So you do that. If you find parity amongst the league, baseball's more exciting for every team because these small market teams can get a big market guy. And then you force those small market teams not spending money. They have a salary floor. You're either going to spend the league minimum of $150 million a year, or you're going to pay the fine to MLB. So what are you going to do? If I'm the Rockies per se, and my payroll is $60 million, but I have to have it 150, and if I don't, I pay the MLB the difference. I'm going to get some good guys, put some fans in the stands, and put my overall team salary to 150. That's the only way to do it.
You mentioned that, and something just came to my head of what I read this morning about this week: the Dodgers being interested in Cal Tucker after having all the other free
Yeah.
agents in the world. Now they might be interested in him and deferred money and getting him and being able to work on that because of Shohei's deferred money that they possibly get Cal Tucker. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I wish there was a salary cap so we wouldn't even think about the Dodgers having an all-star team on the field from what they actually have,
Hmm.
and what they could add on is just beyond ridiculous. And it would make the owners, like in Pittsburgh and Colorado, Miami, spend and actually, instead of just putting the money away in your pocket or whatever, you'd have
Hmm.
to put it toward your product for the fans. And I
Yeah.
think that's more important than anything else, is that you're trying to win. You're not just laying back like the Rockies are,
Yeah. Or
and
Tampa
and
Bay.
Miami. And then
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, with their whole situation, is just worse because of what happened to them, and they're, having not having the ballpark, of course. But yeah, I cringed when I saw that Kyle Tucker news or rumors.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's and that's the problem too. They should be. Why are they not being hit with a tampering violation right there? That's tampering with a
Yeah,
guy who's under contract. He's not a free agent. Don't talk about it. Just like we all know they tampered with Shohei. They were tampering with everyone here and there, going around for every single guy they got right there. You see Mookie Betts talk to those guys about it, but at the same time, I mean, I like how it's like college rules. If you do it in college and all that stuff, it's tampering and violations come down, fines come down, suspensions happen too.
that's right. That's right. Um, Next question. I think I asked Todd this, but in a different way. But will we ever see a team slash organization throw analytics away for good if it's not working for the players and toward the players greatly, where their numbers are up, where the team's winning, either, you know, offense, defense, pitching. Todd always mentioned this, Rob, where on the postgame show, he always mentions, like, oh, it's the analytical people telling angel hitters just to keep swinging for the fences, launch angle, launch angle. That's what I was telling all the Padre fans around me, where it's like, oh, watch, this is going to be a 1-2-3 inning. This will be a strikeout inning, or you'll have
Mhm.
three easy pop ups or ground outs, and it would happen. Or it's just ridiculous. But do you think a team, I wish it was the Angels, that would buck the trend and just say, hey, let's get rid of the analytical crap. Let's just do what we think is right from what we know,
Never.
or you have a gut feeling. I was listening to Brett Boone have an interview, I think, with Foul Territory, and he, of course, is the new hitting coach for the Rangers, and all of a sudden they've done well, and he doesn't have an analytical approach. He's literally saying, "Hey, just watch the game from the dugout. You don't have to watch
Mm,
the iPads or whatever. Just watch the game and see what the pitcher does instead of watching it on the iPad." And I thought to myself, that's such a easier. It feels like an easier approach. Um, but as a player perspective, Rob, from you, do you think we'll ever see a team throw all that away and go back to old school? Let's just say fundamentals of thinking.
no, because even I don't know if I agree with that. What he says, just watch the game and see what they do. Well, I mean, you're mentally computing what the pitcher's doing. So you're getting analytical data from yourself instead of the iPad. On what they're doing. So, no, you'll never see it go away. Not one team, because as a player, as a pitcher, if I want to know some things, right? I want to know if a guy's a free swinger. on a 0 count. I want to know if he's sitting dead right on fastball, his percentages, if he's going to take or not too. There's a lot of guys who take, you don't see it so much anymore, but if I had a guy who I know is going to take a huge hack on me first pitch, 75% of the time, I'm throwing a breaking ball. I need to know where to plant that ball. I want to know where his power zones are at, where he sees the ball the best at, what he struggles at the same time too. So I want you got to hit those zones. It's a scouting report essentially. I think we're really confusing here. We say analytics and a scouting report. It's essentially the same thing, just broken down into data in itself too, percentage wise and everything. Like scouting report would come up first. Mike Trout struggles with high inside fastballs, right? Struggles with breaking balls away. All that stuff causes shoulder dip right there. That would be the scouting report on him. But how is that scouting report done? It's compiled with analytical data that shows you that he struggles with those things there. He's a buck 90 hitter with a fastball up and in, or under 100 hitter on the slider away. That's stuff you need to know. You know what I mean? As a player. And if you're a hitter too, you want to know on a 1-1 count, what does this pitcher throw? 85% of the time, he throws a split finger fastball or he throws a changeup, right? That gives you an advantage to go ahead and do something with that next pitch. You kind of have an angle, and sometimes, yeah, you get confused on it too, because let's say you're sitting back on a breaking ball and he throws you a fastball right by you, right? We see that a lot of time, 1-2 counts. Guys are waiting for breakers. So I like the old school way of a Tony Gwynn thinking. And Derek Jeter, if I'm a hitter, this is for hitting wise, they should take everything oppo. I'm looking to take the fastball oppo. Why? Because if I'm early on a fastball and it's a breaking ball, if I'm looking to take the fastball opposite way, if I'm a right-handed hitter to second base or to right center field, and I'm early, where do I take the ball? To left or left center field. And then vice versa for a left-handed hitter. So I think your approach should change overall, but not the analytical data because that helps out big time for a hitter itself too. You need that to know percentage wise what everyone's going to throw because it's going to help you in the end.
Yeah, it's a. I man, I think just because it hasn't worked for the Angels, I just want to see something different. But man, I don't know. It's just the coaching. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's the way it's presented. I also heard Brett Boone mention, hey, you try to work with the younger people. The terminology just is different, but they're almost saying the same
Hmm.
things. Like exit velocity was saying hitting the ball hard
Yeah, for scoring the
back
ball up.
back then.
Yeah.
Or that. What else? What else? Launch angle, you're just trying to drive the ball. Maybe because the wind's blowing out, or this pitcher leaves pitches up, so you try for a launch angle. But we've been scarred, I think, by what we think is the way to play ball because of the organization, probably with the Angels. Maybe
And
that's why.
let's take this into consideration too. The Dodgers have the best analytical data overall, analytics wise, and they're killing it, right? It's what you put into it. I don't think the Angels are putting 100% into it. Our department on that has to be very bad, in my opinion, on it too. But then sometimes too, we play analytics and you see the shift over, right? We have the guy shifted to the right side of the field and everything. It's like, okay, I see that. Why aren't we throwing the ball outside to that right-handed hitter so he hits the ball that way? Why are we throwing a breaking ball inside where if he's early, he's going to pull the ball down left field line and no one's there? There's certain things we don't do to help ourselves out. I don't see you get yeah, but to answer the question, analytics will never go anywhere. It's going to stay. And for Boone too, say itself, wasn't he on steroids?
Man, I can't remember. I think he was in the report. What was it called? The Mitchell report?
Balco? Was it
I,
Mitchell report?
or one of those. Uh, Still looks like he is somehow, but yeah, he just went about it a weird way where it was like, oh yeah, I'm just letting the players do what they or the hitters do what they want, but if they have questions, I'll be here basically. And they've won 5 in a row, in which we'll
Yeah.
get to the winning streaks and all that. Maybe just a new voice was just needed. That's all I could think of.
So that one too, you're not talking. It's not a bad team. That's a team that's won the World Series 2 years ago. They have the
Right.
same cast overall. They're healthier. Sometimes matchups happen. Guys just need to be sat down. Hey, you're doing too much. Just like I think we should do with Kyra Paris. Hey, you're doing too much. Relax a little bit. I don't need you to hit bombs the whole time. Just get on base. You're fast. Use your speed. It just hit things here and there. But I mean, unless he's gonna talk about how like his average, what did Brett Boone his first like 10 years of the season or 10 years career, he was like a 9 10 home run hitter type of guy that all of a sudden he's hitting 30 plus bombs a year. Come on, man. I find
So
it hard to believe.
that's true. That's true. It would be an ongoing issue, I think, for baseball to go for, especially the fans of a different generation.
Yeah.
I have to mention our last sponsor, of course, Brewheim. Mention HITI for drink specials there, but I mention them because tomorrow, May 16th at 6 p.m., will be the start of the watch party between the Angels and the Dodgers there at Brewheim at 1931 East Right Circle. That's with a W. Anaheim, California 92806. Todd, among others, will have the pregame show, a postgame, and we'll be calling the action from a giant television I heard at Brewheim.
Hmm. Got a little room
So
there.
yeah, yeah, we were there. I think for the first tailgate. There'll be
Yeah.
other tailgates there and at the Big A, but check out Brewheim. For the pregame and maybe even post games. I know I was invited out for a post game, but I had to go. But I imagine it's jump in there. Uh, really good place, great beers of high volume, any beer you could think of, and I think they have
Hmm.
other stuff as well. What did you think about Brewheim when you and I were there? I think a month ago.
You know what? I liked it. Everyone was nice in there. The vibe was good. There's a ton of Angel fans walking in the whole time, and there's other fans too. The Giants were in town that time, and they were walking in there too. Everyone was kind to them. It was fun. It was a nice little atmosphere. They have that patio outside too if you want to get some fresh air to hang out there. They had food available. The staff was great overall. Sam, she was working the bar that day, and she's one of the managers, and she helps us out the whole time. But I liked it a lot. I really do. It's a place to be. I was one actually that we found that place right with Todd in there. That's telling Todd like, hey man, you got to try this place out. And Todd went and talked to them, and he loved them. They loved him, and now he's there.
Oh, that's a good inside story of how
Yeah.
I always wondered how they found it. I mean, it's more than oh, what's the closest place we can try to get a deal with closest to the stadium. There's more than that. There's people involved in that. There's feelings involved in that, and
Yeah.
you know, it's a central location. That's what I like about it. It's kind of like
Hmm.
hidden, but once you find it, it's wide open.
Yeah.
Literally, the parking lot, the food there. One thing I like too, that walkway to the back. You see all the machines going, and you
Yeah.
smell everything. It's perfect.
It is. They're not hiding a thing down there. It's almost like being in San Diego, down where you're at, going through the brewery.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They have a bunch of those places. Maybe the inspiration from there. It looks modern, and that's what I think I like
Hmm.
about it. So yeah, check out Brewheim and all the sponsors that we talked about. Now, let's get to our last topic real quick: the standings and streaks of the MLB. So I guess we'll start with the AL West. Seattle leads Houston and Texas by a game, and the A's are only 1.5 back. And what's funny, I mentioned the A's, even though they're displaced for 3+ years, I'll say, in West Sacramento, I think they're just going to run with it. All the young talent there they already have coming from Oakland to West Sacramento, I think
Hmm.
they're only going to shine more. Jacob Wilson has already hit better than his father, Jack Wilson. And that's no slide to Jack Wilson, but I know he's only had what, one or two walks, but he powers up like we saw against LA this week, and they have much more. Lawrence Butler, Rooker,
Hmm.
they just have all this talent coming out of nowhere, and more to come too. So they're on the rise. Everybody else is competitive in that AL West, but Rob, the Angels 6 back. So what do you think about the American League West so far?
I mean, it's like they say, the Wild Wild West. I mean, it's up for grabs right now. Even look how bad the Angels are playing, and they're still finding themselves six. If there's any other year, they're at least 15 out right now. At least. And people, it's crazy to say, but it's true, right? If
Mm-hmm.
everyone else was perennial Houston a couple of years ago. But the AL West is looking up, man. The Angels looking down, honestly. But everyone else, what do they have? They have young guys to bring up. They can replace an injury, no problem at all. So I think the AL West can be competitive. I don't think Seattle takes it. I think Seattle chokes at the very end, even though they have an amazing starting pitching staff overall. I think they're lacking a little bit of offensive productivity. and you cannot keep depending on these guys to get these shutout wins overall, right? And or pitch gems every single time. It's going to come to a stand where they're going to give up the 3 to 4 runs and need your offense to take over. And
Seattle has
until
done
then,
that before. They've
yeah.
done this before. Last year, I could think of they lost it to Houston by I think a game or two. I can't remember. What was it? Texas has won 5 in a row. Houston has won 2 in a row, and the Angels, of course, has lost 2 in a row. AL East. Now the Yankees they hold the East by 4 games. Same with Toronto 4 games back. Tampa Bay 5. And I think, Rob, the most disappointing team, maybe in baseball, are the Baltimore Orioles at 9.5 back already. What do you think
Mhm.
about the AL East and the Orioles?
I think the AL East is ultra competitive this year. Even though Toronto's on the down, they're going to pick it up here and there, especially get Scherzer back. The Red Sox are good with what they have. They have a little bit of conflict though inside the locker room there that might be hurting the team. But then you go to the Yankees right now, and you have a Cy Young winner or a potential Cy Young winner this year with get the guy from Atlanta, Freed,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then you go to Aaron Judge, right? He's putting up another MVP type season itself. But yeah, it's the Baltimore Orioles, man. They're sliding fast, but there's no game plan outside of this. They also have guys that can pull up here and there, but they got rid of a lot of people too. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
fill the voids that they weren't ready
Santander
for.
losing
Santander.
Santander and Burns.
So Corbin Burns was my biggest one. Santander, he's a Taylor Ward, right? His average is low, so he's exactly like Taylor Ward in itself too. So if they really need a guy like that, trade for Taylor Ward. He's free. We just need a couple prospects. But here we
I'll
go,
take
soliciting
that.
for the Angels. I would in a heartbeat, right? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean you got to fill something, and it all starts with pitching. They were dominant with pitching in years past, and they're struggling this year with pitching. And until then, until they get that figured out, I don't think the Baltimore Orioles do too well until they make a move. They
They've
really need to
lost
make a
three in
move.
a they've lost 3 in a row currently, just like the Red Sox have. And if you heard the Devers comments, they tried to move him positions twice, and each time he said no. But he did go to DH when Bregman signed eventually. Now they
Hmm.
want him to go first because Casas will be out for this season and a little bit of next. But he keeps ripping the team, saying, "Hey, don't keep moving me. If you want a first baseman, go out and get one."
Yeah.
You have any comments on what Devers is saying or what the Red Sox are doing to him?
You know what? Players don't agree. I know they say shut up and play, be a team guy, which absolutely you want. But he's not wrong at the same time. He
Thank you.
needs spring training help. He needs reps at first base. And going out early to the ballpark to get reps somewhere like this, it's not going to help him out. And I don't know if you guys remember this, the story of Pablo Sandoval back in the day. The Giants wanted him to lose weight, be a little bit more versatile, go for third base. If not, they're going to put him at first. They had him come to the ballpark early. They had him do work here. And yes, Devers can do that. But then all of a sudden, Sandoval's production declined more and more and more. And these guys are playing for contracts, right? The contract's based off what they do. You go to arbitration, it's freaking nasty in the MLB. Oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. They degrade you, tear you apart, and then they want you to go produce after they talk all this shit about you essentially. So he's not wrong in the sense that, yeah, you should have really made this clear to me in spring training. If not, but if trade me. We saw with Gary Sheffield in the past in something like this, right? He wasn't happy, sat out, said trade me, played bad. They traded him, he played well again. You got to keep a guy like this happy. I understand ego thing, team thing, guys, old school guys, shut the hell up. I know Foul Territory talked about that. And yeah, those guys are former MLB players. Hey, new age, new generation, man. Just like people didn't like Jazz Chisholm or Fernando Tatis pimping balls. It is what it is. If you don't like it, stop it. And for Devers, he signed to be a third baseman. He didn't sign up and stay with your team to be replaced a couple years later by Bregman. So, my opinion is they got to figure that out. It's a cancer in the locker room. It's something they created, though. It's not 100% on Devers, so stop putting the blame on him. It's easy for him to be a scapegoat. Very easy for fans and players to say that, but the Red Sox got to be held accountable too.
That's why I definitely agree with your points, and I was trying to get that to somebody's head, but they were not going for it.
I mean, they don't have to, right? People can say what they want. I mean, team guys or not, whatever. Oh, be a team guy. Yeah, easy for you to say. It's not you making the adjustment. It's not you going to first base and getting hounded by all the errors and all that stuff and costing your team the game. If you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. He's being honest. And what is that? Ron Washington was once quoted in the book. I know they put it in Moneyball too, where they put Scott Hannibal to first base. And he goes, "It's not that bad." And Ron Washington goes, "It is really hard. It's not easy to
That's
change," right?
right.
Remember that quote?
Yes.
So
Yes,
don't
yes,
tell
yes.
me it's easy for Devers to do it all of a sudden.
That's wow. I gotta watch that again, but I remember that. The AL Central is fun, other from one team. It sounds like last year, doesn't it? Detroit
Yeah.
at 29 and 15. They lead Cleveland by 3.5. Uh, Kansas City is in third place, 4.5. Minnesota is only 5 back, only because they've won 11 straight games. But today they did win, but they had Buxton and Correa injured in a scary collision that
Hmm.
did not look well. And Buxton, you're always worried about him. He is never healthy a full season. It's almost like Mike Trout. But
Yeah.
Correa, you're just worried about him. He's always in the lineup, but after this, we'll find out and see how bad they are. But the White Sox, they're not as bad as last year, but they're 15 back already, 14 and 30. So I love this division because any of those top four can make a run like you saw last year into
Hmm.
the wild card or win the division. Detroit, for me, is always a fun team now. They have all these youngsters. I just saw them play Boston this week. And, I mentioned Schoolbowl. He's always entertaining. He got jaded by his bullpen. They gave up a 4-run lead, and Detroit I think ended up winning though. But still, it's a fun AL Central, and we haven't said that in the past for a while. And the last 2 years has been a lot of fun. What do you think about the Central?
I think the Central's good, man. It's going to be a fun league to watch overall. I do think the Indians are underperforming a little bit. Give them some time. They have a lot of prospects to bring up, and it's good. I mean, look, they're the only team, right, with everyone's over 500, minus the White Sox.
Yeah,
Only division, I think,
yeah,
overall, right?
yeah,
And the White Sox, they're even doing something right. I think they're getting these young guys in. They're getting a young core.
yeah.
They're turning the page a little bit. So, I mean, you look at this overall, I think the Tigers are the team to beat. Don't get me wrong, but I do think the Indians are underperforming. I do think the Royals can be a lot better. The Twins, I'm going to say, fall off. I think if
Yeah.
Carlos Correa comes back, you're going to see a trade happen because we have Pablo Lopez, Correa, guys who
Ooh.
are very expendable to get some prospects back because your window's closing fast and you're not going to compete with Detroit right now. So don't do what the Angels did. Don't hold on to something that's not there. Take advantage of what you have now, would be my opinion, and trade off right there and rebuild faster.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, the White Sox, literally, it feels like you're building from the core of the earth and you're trying to
Hmm.
dig out of it, and you have to dig up from
But they're
from
doing something.
being down. But yeah, Will Venable in his first year there from Princeton, knew him as a player with San Diego and other places, was a base coach in Texas where he won a ring. Before that with the Cubs. So he brings some experience, and players know him. And I
Hmm.
wish him nothing but the best. But yeah, there is a lot of talent. I watched a video. I think it was Baseball America, and they were going through the system that they have and how many prospects they have, and um, they need them all to come up and do well. But it looks like they are doing something. All right, National League. The Mets, the surprising Mets of 28-16, they're 2.5 ahead of Philadelphia. Now the Braves, they were sunk, and now they're at 500 at 22-22, 6 back. But they went on a good winning streak as well as the Cardinals did. But Washington, Miami, they're in fourth and fifth. But
Hmm.
with this division, I'm really shocked at the Mets. You never really can trust what they're doing. I thought, last year was just a fluke with their
Really?
run that they went on. But it looks like even with Soto, bringing back Alonso, and even with their pitching injuries, they're still able to do what they've been doing. They've had some clutch hits, a lot of walk-offs this year. Uh, Francisco Lindor has been really, really hot.
Hmm.
Even with Soto striking out, but Lindor has been the talk of the town so far, along with Judge, of course. But what do you think of this NL East? It's kind of like a three-team race in a way.
It's good. I mean, I'm surprised that you were shocked that the Mets are so good, man. To be honest with you, I think the Mets were. I thought to me they were stand out, and what they did with Clay Holmes, let alone putting him from a setup man relief position to a starting pitcher, and he's killing it right now, man. That was a huge thing to take from the Yankees. Not only Juan Soto, but him. He's very under the radar steal right there. It's like he's a Michael King type guy that we
Yeah,
saw pitch in San Diego. But anyways, I do think one team's really underperforming, and it's bugging the crap out of me, and that's the Washington Nationals. They had the
yeah,
right trades. It's bugging me a little bit too. I'm not too hurt overall with Atlanta being down. We knew it was risky. They made some moves, let Max Fried walk. It's a big guy to let go overall, and you're gonna pay the price here and there. You didn't replace him. You thought you can do from within, and sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you need that outside help.
I think
But overall, it's a good division.
the Profar suspension really hinders what the Braves are trying to work for. They're trying to
Yeah,
get Acuna Jr. back. I know he's in AAA. I think Gwyneth trying to rehab and get back from his injury. Yeah, with the Nationals, they have all this young talent. You know, Reese, Wood, all the players they got from the Dodgers and from the Padres in
Padres.
their
Yeah.
trade. What was it Mackenzie Gore and CJ Abrams? They have
Hmm.
all this talent. It is such a tough job to trying to blend it all together with
It
more
is.
coming up. And that's why I gave them a little leeway this year. Just because, hey, you don't know what everybody's going to be. And that's what's happening with Washington. With the NL Central, Cubs are out in front 25-15, but the Cardinals recently went on a great winning streak. I think it was 9 at one point. They're 24
Yeah.
and 20. Milwaukee is 2 games under 500 at four games back. The Young Reds are 3 games under, but they're 4.5 back. With Terry Francona there, I was hoping for more there, but they might be in the national situation. And then the Pirates, 15 and 29, already 10 back. I mean, this season for the Pirates, Rob, has been a disaster on and off the field, depending on what
Hmm.
video you watch. You had Derek Shelton getting fired. You had the owner not spending. You have Paul Skeens calling out everyone.
Yeah.
You have fans not showing up because of the weather or the play. You have the fan almost dying. You have the usher beating up a fan. Um, where do the Pirates go from here? I mean, you don't trade Paul Skeens, even though everybody wants that on social media. But man, what do you think of this Pirates team that was supposed to compete possibly?
They're a very disappointing team, man. 'Cause with him and was it Jared Jones, the other pitcher they have too?
Oh God, Bubba something. He's another pitcher coming up though. But I know who you're
They have
talking about.
they have a whole bunch of guys, right? They should be making a run, but at the same time, just like a lot of other teams, there's guys out there in free agency that you can go get to help stop the bleeding. When David Bender wasn't doing it for you too, I talk about this all the time. Get David Robinson, right? So I want the Angels to get him. You're
Yeah,
not getting him. You're struggling with hitting. Teams are missing an outfield piece. There's JD Martinez. I mean, there's guys out there still today. Will Smith's still out there, the lefty specialist. These guys, you're not making moves. End of the day, you're right. They don't want to spend money. People want success at the same time, but prospects are just that prospects until it comes time to play. And you have a rough go. You can win every fifth game with Paul Skeens going on the bump, but then he just got beat the other day. I mean, it happens, part of baseball, but I don't know if trading him's the right answer. 'Cause how do you evaluate something like this? What does he have? 4 more years of control?
5.
5 more years of control? So what's the I mean, you're gonna trade a whole roster for this guy? I mean, that's essentially what it's gonna cost. It's gonna cost you at least 6 players minimum, and not even six mediocre guys in the minor leagues. You're gonna have six top tier players, and who has that right now? There's one team that does, and it really freaking scares me. The Dodgers.
Yeah,
They can afford to get rid of six top prospects and be just fine because they just defer the payments on everyone else down the road a little bit. But other than that, they gotta figure out something. They have Andrew Haney pitching well. They have Paul Skeens pitching well. I don't understand what's going wrong there. It is completely offensive right now, and some of the bullpen itself. But the remedy's out there. Make a trade, make a move. You can Andrew Heaney can bring a lot back in return for not only this year but for next. You got to show something that you're moving up a little bit here and there, right? Unless you keep falling, but they're going to take a page out of Artie Moreno's book. Honestly, dude, Artie, buy that team. Let's let the Angels go. Take them. They have a little bit more going for them.
Yeah, just Bennington isn't spinning, and it's just it's drawn a line for the fans in Pittsburgh not to show up. Really, the NL West, it's very fun. Other from Colorado, the Dodgers are 28-15. They lead the Padres by only half of a game, which is kind of a shocker. It's usually 10 or less.
Hmm.
As of now, Giants are 3.5 back. Arizona's 5.5 back. All are above 500. Then you have the Rockies that are 7-36 as we talk right now. 21 games back already. They lost 3 in a row this week, of course, after beating the Padres on Sunday, but they got humiliated Friday and Saturday against San Diego at Coors Field. We know about Corbin Carroll. He already has, I think, 14 home runs. He had a sophomore slump last year, but he's doing so well this year. You have the Giants, who Jung-Ho Lee's been a surprise, along with Wilmer Flores, power-wise. You still have your Yastrzemski. You have the free agent signings back then of Chapman last year and then Adames this year. Giants are putting a little bit something together there with Webb and Verlander. So you love what they're doing. We saw the
Hmm.
Padres live, and their lineup is so deadly.
Yeah,
Anybody can make anything happen. And guess what? They did it not by just hitting home runs. They had Manny
yeah,
Machado hitting line drives. Tatis getting on any way he can. Bogart's even hitting a home run, and all the pressure on him and his contract.
yeah,
It's just been great for the Padres to see that. Everybody else, along with the Dodgers, we don't have to say much. We know about them. They took 2 out of 3, I think, from Arizona last weekend. They're a really great team, of course. But Colorado, and we talked about them, just the misery of what's going on. It's just ridiculous. But NL West, what do you think about all the teams there?
I mean, it's probably one of the better. It's if not the best division of baseball currently right now, minus the Central going at it too. I mean,
Yeah,
you look at it overall, I think they're more well-rounded in it too. They're all playoff teams minus the Rockies itself, but it's tough, man. The Giants. I'm surprised you're surprised by what Lee. I thought he's supposed to be good. About a dislocated shoulder last year.
yeah, he
I
had
knew
like a
he's going to be
back
good.
injury as well, and that really, hurt his chances of performing well. But he's doing it this year.
Yeah. So I think honestly, right now you're looking at it. I think the NL. I'll take the hot take on this right now. I might eat the L, but so it's if it's not the New York Mets, the World Series contender for the pennant, NL pennant winner is going to be out of the AL West, or NL West, excuse me,
Yeah,
right now.
I
And
can
of
see
course,
that.
everyone says the Dodgers right now, but don't sleep on the Padres, and you cannot sleep on the Giants itself too. Arizona might need to make a couple moves. They're
Yeah,
they're they're lacking a lot for me right now. They got a little streaky here and there, but I look at it overall, their run differential is pretty big.
that's
No, it's
true.
four. Sorry, the run differential is four. Everyone else in the positive run differential wise. So you got to do something a little bit different there because it's not working out for you. I mean, yeah, you don't want to get rid of key pieces, but it's tough. You got to get rid of some prospects. You want to compete today, you want to compete tomorrow, type thing. You gotta have to move on because the Dodgers can keep doing what they're gonna do, defer contracts. It's only a matter of time until the Padres start doing something like that, and let alone the Giants too.
So this weekend coming up will be Rivalry weekend. I remember they were talking about it last year and wanted to promote this, but it's basically the interleague matchups. It's Rivalry week or weekend with the Angels and Dodgers, the White Sox and Cubs, the Guardian Reds, Phillies and Pirates, Nationals, Orioles, Yankees, Mets, which that
Hmm.
should be awesome. Tigers, Blue Jays, Braves, Red Sox, only because the Braves used to play in Boston like thousands of years ago. Rays and Marlins, Cardinals, Royals, the I-95 matchup there. Astros, Rangers, Twins, Brewers, Rockies, Diamondbacks, Mariners, and Padres. Then you have Athletics and Giants going on. So I get what they say rivalry weekend, but it's
Yeah,
just It's the interleague games. It doesn't. But I'll tell you what. In the major markets, it means something. Like, of course, up in the L.A. area, whatever. But New York this year, Yankees and Mets should be outstanding,
It's going
and
to be ruthless.
that's in. I'm sorry, that's in Yankee Stadium this time. Astros and Rangers, though, since both are, near first place, they're trying to catch Seattle. They're both a game back this early,
Hmm.
but that's always a fun thing. We saw in 23 in the ALCS, they had a fun matchup.
Oh yeah.
Um, what do you think about this rivalry weekend? Is it just to get people to watch?
I think it's to expand a little bit more because honestly, if you're a true baseball fan, I love the Angels. Don't get me wrong. But if it comes down to on Sunday night baseball, for you, James, you tell me, are you watching the Yankees match or are you gonna watch the Angels Dodgers?
Damn. I think maybe after 3 innings and the Dodgers are up 10-1, I'll go watch Mets and
See,
Dodgers.
yeah, I'd be the exact same man because you get frustrated, but yeah, no, they're doing a good job promoting it overall, right? It's going to bring eyes to it too. You're competing with the NBA playoffs right now, which honestly to me means nothing until the finals because you kind of have the same teams going every year. But baseball needs to do something like this because honestly, too, I'll even take this as a hot take. They're almost borderline MLB. It's too long of a season right now, in my opinion. I like traditional, but it's too long of a season. You're letting teams get away with it too much, meaning you're gonna have the same two teams from the NL, same two teams from the AL competing to go to the World Series, and that's a problem because you're gonna start losing fans, dropping off little by little. Baseball used to be number one. Football's higher now, right? Basketball's higher on it too. And then it just viewership's going down, money's going up into it, right? Sponsorship wise. I get it, but it's only a matter of time until it starts falling there too. So they got to start doing this a little bit more often, to be honest with you. And I'd almost spread this out. I think the rivalry weekend, it's exciting as it is. It's a failure. You have it all in the same time. Why? I want to watch the Cardinals play the Royals. I want to watch the Yankees play the Mets. You know what I mean? I want to watch these aggressive teams. I would really like to see the Padres play the Mariners. They're both good right now. And then Houston Astros and then Texas Rangers. It's hard. You can't watch every single game. There's not enough
Mm-hmm.
time in the day, let alone there too, right? You literally have to be glued to your couch. What, 2.5, 3 hour games each game? It's not like it's the NFL. We have scheduling here and there. You have a breakdown. You have the NFL Red Zone, something like that, so you can watch every single game where scoring highlights come on, all that stuff. But I mean, as good as it is for it, it's a success, but a failure at that too, because you cannot draw the most viewership. You're too spread out everywhere.
Anything about that? That's true. All right, Rob. Thank you for joining me here on Around the League, episode 10. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe on all the social media platforms, and check out all the sponsors. Again, thank you, Rob, for joining me. Any final thoughts, last words?
No, thanks for having me, and you guys keep tuning in. This is the only one that you can go a podcast and see other teams besides your own around the league, right? I mean, this is coming from a true fan too. It's not coming from MLB, former MLB players who are biased and everything. This is just raw takes from James, and it's absolutely a great show. I look forward to it every week.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Rob. And again, it was great seeing you and your fam in San Diego. And we'll see you next time on Around the League. Take care, folks. Bye.